Hey there guys, Misty here. Welcome back to another video. January 2018. How the hell did that happen? So I have a lot to catch you up on. I'm going to break this video up into two parts because I also want to talk about my word of the year. So that video will probably go up on Wednesday. So today I want to talk about where I've been, kind of give you an update on what's been going on. And then at the end we'll talk about my weight and what my goals are for 2018. So if you're new here, hello, my name is Misty. I started this channel a few years ago to document my weight loss journey, and it's been within the last year that I've really focused on getting weight off. But the main focus, besides the number on the scale, is getting off insulin. I am a type 2 diabetic, and my goal for the last year has been to get off insulin. So last January 1st, 2017, I started at 427 pounds. Now when I started keto on March 6th, I was 425. So I was big. I'm still big. I mean, I don't take up nearly as much of the screen as I did before. And I feel like my face is really slimmed down. But I still have a long way to go. My initial goal weight is 200 pounds. That's 227 pounds. And I lost. And there are a couple of reasons why that goal in particular. Number one, that's when I can have spine surgery. And that looks like it may be a necessity in the next 5-6 years. It's also the smallest adult weight. I don't remember. I think I was like in junior high the last time I was 200 pounds. So, and plus I thought it was just a round, nice number. So yeah, so I've been absent the last couple of weeks. It was hard. Christmas was hard. The holidays were so hard. And hard, not just for me. I know they're hard for a lot of people. And I have a tendency to shut down and just kind of retreat into myself when I am feeling that depressed, heartbroken, depressed. I don't even know which words I can use to describe it. But I was really strict keto for the whole month of December, trying really, really hard to make my goal by Christmas. So I was really, really just focused on that. And I didn't want to post anything and deal with criticism, because you get criticism when you post stuff on the internet, and I'm okay with that, but when I'm in that fragile of a mental state, it's like nah. So a lot of things happening. I went to the doctor twice in 2 weeks, and I had lost 10 pounds, and he was like, "What are you doing?" I said, "What do you mean, what am I doing?" He's like, "You've lost 10 pounds in 2 weeks." I'm like, "Yeah, I've been doing keto." And I've been off insulin. Hallelujah, praise the Lord. I haven't been taking insulin regularly since I think November. And I was so, guys, I'm not even kidding you, I was so close to that goal on Christmas Day. I knew I was going to hit it. And then I have had the worst inflammation in forever. And we've had a really bad cold front, and every day I got on that scale and it wasn't moving, and it wasn't moving, and then it moved up inexplicably. I don't know why it moved up. And then on Christmas Day I was just over it. I was mad. I was over it. So I don't know. I've just been in not a great place mentally. And this is the first time ever in my life that I've been overly anxious for a new year to start. And I don't know, and I'm sure everybody else feels this way too. It just feels like January 1st is just a new start. Yesterday was our wedding anniversary. We celebrated 8 years. We didn't do much. We sat at home. Rob did laundry. I worked on videos and stuff. We had to go out to eat for lunch on Friday because Rob had gotten paid. So, we're just trying to make the money work. We're just trying to, keep going, just keep going. And that's been the biggest thing. So, yeah, that's been the biggest thing. And I know several of you have reached out, needing support or wanting to talk about your struggles and stuff like that. And I can't support anybody else when I can barely support myself. And I don't mean to be a bitch about it, and I don't mean to be rude, and I love hearing from you guys, but when I am in a negative place about myself or about what's my situation or just whatever I'm going through in the moment, I cannot be a support for somebody else. So if you reached out and you either didn't hear back from me or you got a short answer, that's the reason why. It's just, I just can't. I can't deal with anybody else's problems. I can't deal with anybody else's struggles in that moment. Normally I would be fine and I would love to hear from you and I'd love to talk to you. But the last couple of weeks, I just haven't been myself. And for that, like I said, if you've reached out, you just haven't heard back from me, I'm sorry. I apologize. So, on to the good stuff. So, I lost over 40 pounds in 2017, which is fantastic. I made it the entire year without going to the emergency room or being in the hospital. Now, I'm going to say that I was at a ton of doctors and I had a ton of tests done, but this 2017 was the first year where I hadn't gone to the emergency room for an asthma attack, for staph infection, because I fell out of the shower and hurt my elbow. Like, this last year was good in that way, and that's a victory that I'm holding on to. My word of the year was consistency, and I felt like this was the first year that I really stuck with a way of eating. I mean, in the past, I'd give it like 6 or 8 weeks, and then I would be, I'm done, I'm not doing this ever again. And then we would eat poorly for a year, and then we'd start all over. And we've had our moments where we haven't eaten on plan, but we've eaten on plan more often than not. Actually, probably, I would say 85% of the time we've eaten on plan, and there's been 15% where we've had days where we haven't. So it's been, in that manner, it's been a really good year. My YouTube channel has grown. So many of you have come and you've been supportive. I feel like I've been a little bit more consistent on this channel, but I hope to be more consistent in 2018. One thing that I have to learn to stop doing is what I mentioned earlier, is like when I'm having a really, really rough time, I just kind of retreat into my little shell. And I don't want to deal with the world, and I don't want to, because I don't like putting negativity out into the world. I really, really don't. I don't like talking about my problems, when I get in that type. Like, the last time I saw my therapist, I don't know that we talked about anything other than what we were going to do for Christmas, because even with him, I was just like, I get to a point where I don't want to think about them. I don't want to face them. I don't want to deal with that reality. I just want to retreat into my bubble and just be okay. So, yeah. We had a really good Christmas. My brother and my niece were able to come down. They spent a couple of days with us. I did manage to get her a little $15 gift on Amazon, which made me feel better. It's really hard with this Facebook on this day because it kept throwing up memories of when I was able to adopt that family and stuff like that. So that's another thing, my therapist and I talked about. I like service and love and those kinds of things. And I think I talked about this before. That's kind of my love language, and not being able to do that is kind of hard. So, I'm sending in my information for my handicap placard. I should hear something from Social Security in the next couple of weeks. And Rob and I are going tomorrow to look for a walker. I talked about that with my doctor, and he said, go pick one out, have them send me the orders. We'll see if we can get insurance to cover it. So, he's like, what about the carts? And I said, is just too much. And the issue is, and I don't know if you guys have the same issue where you are, but 9 times out of 10, either they're not charged or they're not charged all the way, and they die in the middle of the store. And plus, I want to be able to walk. I want to, that's why I told Rob, I was like, I really would like for you to drive the car and let me walk, and then let's switch out. But I think a walker will help that a lot. So yay. So, I weighed in this morning at 387 pounds, which is a 4-pound gain from the week before Christmas. And I know some of it has to do with the weather. So it is what it is. I bought a brand new scale. I'll leave a link to it down below. I love it. It talks to me. I don't have to look down. And it seems to be a bit more consistent than the last one was. So yeah, when I very first got on it said 383 pounds. And I was like, see, I told you. I knew it. And this morning when it said 387, I'm like, I hate you. So that's why I am way more concerned with just trying to be, just be excited that I'm off insulin. So 15 minutes left. Let's talk about 2018. So my goal for 2018, like my big goal for 2018, is to be under 300 pounds. I would like that to happen. I would really like to hit 375, like before the end of January. And I would really like to be at 350 by March, but I'm not going to push it. I'm really not going to focus on that number on the scale, but I will be doing either weekly or bi-weekly weigh-ins. I haven't quite decided. Another goal is to go zero carb. I don't know, well, not completely zero carb, because we still have so much like vegetables and tea and stuff like that. I'm not going to waste it, because we're not in a financial spot for me to just go around wasting food. But I do feel like I want to be where I'm just barely eating carbs. One good thing that happened, I was talking to my doctor, and we were talking about me going zero carb. He's like, why do you want to go zero carb? He's like, you've lost 10 pounds in 2 weeks. Why do you want to go zero carb? And I said, because my blood sugars aren't where they need to be. He's like, what are they running? I said, well, anywhere between 130 and 160. And he's like, those are perfect. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, I thought it needed to be 80 to 120. He's like, yeah, if you're not a diabetic. He's like, if you're a diabetic, 130 to 160. He said, those are great numbers. It's going to put your A1C at 6. And I was like, okay. But I still want it to be lower. I still do. And maybe that's just me, but I just want it to be lower. And this may sound crazy, but another goal for 2018 is to stop turning to food for comfort. And I think one way to rewire my brain for that is to stop eating food for enjoyment. You know what I mean? Like, stop making these elaborate dinners with, that just taste so good, and start focusing on back to basics. Like, the last couple of days, I've had hamburger meat with butter and a little bit of soy sauce. And it's good. And I could probably eat that every single day. And Rob's like, who are you? And I'm like, I really want to retrain my brain to focus as food as fuel, and not food as a sense of enjoyment. I want to focus on getting enjoyment from other places. So that's a really big goal for me. And those of you who've been around, that I'm an emotional eater, or an emotional shopper. And since I can't shop, I'm an emotional eater. And it's something that I've worked with, in therapy with my therapist, but it's still something that needs work. And so I feel like if I take it down to basic, where I'm eating meat and drinking water, and that's it, that it will help me not only, reduce inflammation and finally get off dairy, but I hope it will also retrain my brain to think as food as fuel, and not necessarily eating out of enjoyment. So you may or may not agree with that. and that's completely up to you. But I really think that's where I want to go. But like I said, it won't be completely zero carb because I'm not going to waste the groceries that we have. We have frozen broccoli, we have frozen asparagus, and we have frozen green beans. Rob will eat those. He does not. He has no desire to go zero carb. So I'll probably cook up vegetables for him, and then he can have them during the week. And I know a lot of people are like, no, protein. We'll see. I mean, I'm going to give it 30 days once I get started, and we'll see what happens. I am changing endocrinologist. Did I tell you guys? I can't remember the last time we talked, but I went and saw an endocrinologist. He was 492 years old. He put me on U500. He wouldn't listen to me. He wanted to put me on something. He was just hell-bent on putting me on something. So I called my own endocrinologist nurse, and I was like, I want to come back. And so I'm going back. It's a 3.5-hour drive. It's worth it. He was really supportive. And one thing that I want and one thing that we deserve as patients is to have partners and like be a partner in our health. That's one reason I love my two doctors, like my endocrinologist and my regular doctor, is because I feel like we're partners in health. He's not a dictator. He doesn't say, well, it's this, and this, and you need to do this, and this. He listens to what I have to say. Like, we work together to figure things out. I'm the queen of Google, and I'll come in and go, oh, is it this? Like, someone had mentioned in the comments, I needed to see if I have vitamin B12 deficiency. I do not, but I was low on folic acid. I think I said, actually, I remember this now. So, and that's just because of all of the bowel movements from the mestonin. My body's just not absorbing it. The last time I went and saw him, I thought I had an impacted bowel, but that kind of worked itself out. I've been having problems with gas, which is new. I've never had gas issues before, but I'm also having issues with a trigger thumb. And I was like, it just started. And he's like, no, you've probably always had it. But I have a little ball of calcium right there in my whole thumb. My whole hand really is really bothersome. So I don't know when I'll be able to get that fixed. I was hoping they would call me before the new year started, and they did not. He said that it'll probably be a cortisone shot, so we'll see. So yeah, that's really what's been going on. Like I mentioned, my goals, my biggest goal for 2018 is to be under 300 pounds. I think I graduated high school at 320 pounds. I don't know that I've been under 300 pounds in my adult life. I want to be 375, so my short-term goal is 375 by the end of the month. I would really like to do that in the next 2 weeks, but I'm not going to put that pressure on myself. I would like to be 350 by March 6th, which is my 1-year ketoversary. And yeah, so I'm going to go back to doing weekly updates. I'm going to go back to doing our meals of the week. I'm going to go back to doing 1 or 2 full days of eating. And so yeah, so I will be more consistent on this channel. I don't know about, Foodie Friday or posting recipe videos. It really just depends. I don't know what it is, but giving up pasta and bread and stuff is easier to me in my brain than giving up cheese, because I love cheese. I love cheese. I have Applewood smoked cheddar in the refrigerator right now, and I'm not looking forward to giving up my heavy whipping cream, especially since I just discovered the heavy whipping cream with the pudding. Where has that been all my life? So I've been having that, like 1 spoonful a day of that. So, but again, here I am talking about food for enjoyment when I really need to be focusing on food as fuel. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. This is going to be a fantastic new year. Like I said, I'm 387 pounds. And now that I have a scale that talks to me, I may post my weigh-ins more often. But yeah, so that's it. I hope you guys had a fantastic Christmas. You had a fantastic new year. 2017 sucked ass, but 2018 is going to kick ass. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll see you Wednesday for my word of the year. Bye for now.